This message is only for you, not for the crowd, not for the noise of the world, not for the moments that pass too quickly and forget our names. It's for you, because some words don't belong everywhere. They belong to one heart. I don't know where you are when you hear this. Maybe you're strong, maybe you're tired, maybe you're smiling, or maybe you're holding yourself together quietly. But I know this. If this message found you, it was meant to. Some connections don't need directions, as they just arrive. I'm not here to impress you with perfect sentences or loud promises. I'm here with honesty, with the kind of truth that doesn't shout but stays, the kind that waits even when time stretches long, the kind that believes love isn't about being dramatic, it's about being real. This message is only for you because you matter in ways I can't fully explain, because even in silence you've been present, because some people don't walk into your life loudly, they become a part of it slowly, deeply, permanently. So listen carefully, not with your ears, but with that quiet place inside you that still believes in something real. This message is only for you, not because the world wouldn't understand it, but because it doesn't need to. Some words lose their meaning when too many people touch them. I kept these words with me, carried them through ordinary days and quiet nights, letting them grow heavier and more honest, until they finally asked to be spoken. When I say this message is only for you, I mean it was shaped by moments you don't even know you gave me. A look that stayed longer than it had to, a silence that felt safe instead of empty, a feeling that didn't rush me, didn't demand answers, didn't promise miracles, but stayed steady like something real. I'm not standing here to change your life in one dramatic moment. Love doesn't always arrive like that. Sometimes it comes slowly, almost unnoticed, like light entering a room you've lived in for years. You don't realize how dark it was until everything feels warmer. I didn't plan this feeling. It didn't ask for permission. It just showed up and stayed, even when I tried to be practical, even when I told myself to be careful, even when I thought silence would be easier. This message is only for you because it carries truth without armor. I'm not hiding behind confidence or clever words. I'm here as I am, imperfect, thoughtful, aware of how fragile real connection can be. I know people can leave. I know promises can break. I know timing can be cruel. And still, I chose to feel this. Still, I chose you in the quiet ways that don't announce themselves. In patience, in restraint, in respect. If you're wondering why I didn't speak sooner, it's because some feelings need time to prove they're not temporary. I wanted to be sure this wasn't just a moment. Not just loneliness wearing a familiar face. I waited to see if it would fade. It didn't. It became calmer, deeper, more certain. The kind of certainty that doesn't need reassurance every day. The kind that knows standing beside someone doesn't mean owning them. It means understanding them. This message is only for you because I don't expect anything in return. Love isn't a transaction. It's not a deal where affection is given only if it's guaranteed to come back. What I feel isn't fragile like that. It exists whether you notice it or not, whether you choose it or not. That doesn't make it weak, it makes it honest. I'm not here to pressure you or to place weight on your heart. I'm here to let you know that somewhere in this world, someone sees you clearly and still feels grateful. I see your strength, but I also see the tired parts you don't show. The moments when you hold yourself together because you've learned how to survive without leaning too hard on anyone. I don't want to fix you. I don't believe you're broken. I just want you to know you don't have to be strong all the time to be worthy of love. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to doubt. You're allowed to take your time. This message is only for you because it speaks in the language of patience. Not asking you to arrive anywhere faster than you're ready to. I'm not chasing a future that scares you. I'm standing in the present, saying this is real for me, and that's enough for now. If all this ever becomes is a quiet understanding between two people, I can live with that. Because some connections don't need labels to be mean in. How the world teaches us to protect ourselves, to keep distance, to pretend we don't care too much. But caring is not a weakness. Feeling deeply is not a mistake. Choosing one person, even silently in a world full of noise, that takes courage. And if courage looks quiet here, if it looks like respect and restraint instead of loud declarations, that's because this isn't about being seen. It's about being true. This message is only for you, and it will remain yours whether you hold on to it or let it pass through you. I won't chase you with it. I won't repeat it to make it louder. I'll leave it here exactly as it is, trusting that if it belongs to you, it will stay with you in the moments when everything else fades, when you need to remember that. Somewhere, someone chose you without conditions, without urgency, without fear. Someone who was willing to wait, to understand, to remain. even in the quiet, even in the pause, even when the world keeps moving and nothing is certain except this feeling that refuses to disappear and continues to exist, steady and unannounced, like a promise that doesn't ask to be named, only felt, only carried, only known. This message is only for you, because what I'm about to say isn't built on hope of return or fear of loss or the need to be chosen. It comes from a place that exists even when no one is watching. Love doesn't always ask to be recognized. Sometimes it just wants to exist. Honestly, I'm not speaking these words to change your end or your path. I'm speaking them because keeping them inside would make them untrue. I don't expect you to feel the same way. I don't expect anything at all. That's what makes this real for me. When love is clean of expectation, it becomes steady. It doesn't shake when silence stretches. It doesn't panic when answers don't arrive. It doesn't measure its worth by response. It just stays quiet, certain, present. This message is only for you because I learned something important while carrying these feelings. That caring for someone doesn't mean needing them to complete you. It means wanting their happiness even when it doesn't include you. That kind of love isn't dramatic. It doesn't beg. It doesn't bargain. It respects distance as much as closeness. It understands that people are allowed to choose their own pace, their own direction, their own story. I've seen love that demands proof. I've seen love that keeps score. This isn't that. This is the kind of feeling that shows up without conditions. I don't need you to promise me tomorrow. I don't need you to reassure me today. I just need to be honest about what exists inside me. Silence can protect you, but it can also erase truth. I chose truth. If you never respond to this message, it won't undo what it means. If you read it once and forget it, it will still have been real. I'm not afraid of that. I've learned that some things don't need to last forever to matter. Some things are valuable simply because they were sincere in the moment. Hey, we're given. This message is only for you because it carries no pressure. You don't owe me clarity. You don't owe me emotion. You don't owe me space in your life. Love that expects repayment isn't love, it's a contract. What I feel isn't written in demands, it's written in acceptance. In understanding that your freedom matters more than my comfort. I see you as you are, not as a version shaped by my hopes. I don't imagine you differently to make this easier. I accept the distance if that's where you stand. I accept the silence if that's what you need. Caring doesn't disappear just because it isn't returned, it adapts. It becomes quieter, stronger in its own way. This message is only for you because I wanted you to know that someone can care without trying to take anything from you. Someone can choose you internally without asking you to choose back. Someone can hold space for you without stepping into your life uninvited. That kind of love doesn't knock loudly, it waits. I won't remind you of this tomorrow. I won't bring it up to test you. I won't turn it into a reason for sadness or hope. I'll let it exist exactly once, exactly as it is. Because real feelings don't need repetition to be valid. They don't need witnesses, they don't need approval. This message is only for you, and once it's given, it's free. Free from expectation, free from outcome, free from need to become something more. If it stays with you, that's enough. If it passes through you, that's also enough. I will continue forward knowing that I spoke honestly, that I didn't hide behind silence, that I allowed myself to feel without asking the world to reward me for it, that I chose sincerity over safety, that I let love exist without trying to control where it goes, who it becomes or how it's answered, carrying it quietly, respectfully, without weight, without demand, without a reason to end, without a reason to explain, without a reason to stop, simply because it is real and exists and it was worth saying even once. This message is only for you, because waiting doesn't always mean standing still. Sometimes it means choosing patience when walking away would be easier. I didn't wait because I was unsure. I waited because some things deserve time to breathe. Real feelings don't rush the door. They sit quietly, learning the shape of the moment, learning when to speak and when to remain silent. I learned that waiting isn't weakness when it's guided by respect. It's strength that doesn't need to prove itself. I've waited in ways no one noticed, in choosing calm over reaction, in choosing understanding over assumption, in letting moments pass without forcing meaning onto them. Waiting taught me how to listen, not just to you, but to myself. It showed me that love doesn't panic when it's genuine. It doesn't demand reassurance every time the world goes quiet. It trusts what it knows, even when nothing is being said. This message is only for you because I never wanted to ache you feel corn, arid by emotion. I didn't want my feelings to become a weight you had to carry. Waiting allowed me to keep this light clean, unburdened by urgency. I didn't count days. I didn't keep score. I simply allowed this feeling to exist at its own pace, knowing that if it was real, it wouldn't disappear just because time passed. There's a difference between waiting and hoping. Hoping asks the future to save you. Waiting accepts the present as it is. I wasn't building fantasies while I waited. I was paying attention to who you are, not who I wanted you to be, to what was real, not what could be convenient. Waiting helped me see clearly without desperation, without illusion. This message is only for you because I wanted you to know that if distance ever stood between us, it was never a punishment. It was space given with care. Space that said you matter enough to be free. Waiting like this doesn't change someone. It opens a door and steps back. It says, I'm here, but I won't pull you toward me just to feel less alone. I learned that strength doesn't always look like action. Sometimes it looks like restraint, like holding a feeling gently instead of throwing it into the world, like trusting that what's meant to connect doesn't need to be chased. Waiting gave me balance. It kept me honest. It kept this from turning into something fragile or demanding. This message is only for you because waiting taught me how to stand on my own while still caring deeply. I didn't pause my life for this feeling. I carried it with me quietly, responsibly. It didn't consume me. It didn't weaken me. It reminded me that love can exist alongside independence, that caring doesn't require losing yourself. If you never knew I was waiting, that's okay. Waiting doesn't need recognition to be valid. It doesn't need gratitude. It's not performed for an audience. It's chosen internally. I chose patience because it aligned with who I wanted to be, not because I expected a reward at the end. This message is only for you because I wanted you to understand that if I stayed calm, if I didn't rush forward, if I didn't speak sooner, it wasn't hesitation. It was intention. It was me choosing to let this feeling mature instead of burn out, choosing depth over speed, choosing respect over impulse. Waiting showed me that love doesn't expire just because it isn't acted on immediately. Some feelings grow stronger in stillness. They lose what's unnecessary and keep what's true. And if nothing else ever comes from this, I'll still know that I was capable of caring without control, of waiting without resentment, of holding space without filling it with fear, of standing present without demanding movement, of remaining steady while time moved on, while moments shifted, while silence stretched, while life continued, while this feeling stayed exactly where it belonged, calm, grounded, unforced, patient, alive. This message is only for you because some conversations are never meant to be shared. They don't belong to rooms full of people or to moments that pass too quickly. They belong to one soul speaking honestly to another. I'm not talking to the idea of you or the version others see. I'm speaking to the quiet part of you that exists when everything else fades. The part that feels deeply but doesn't always speak. I believe some connections don't need names to be real. They don't need definitions to exist. They're felt in awareness, in recognition, in the strange comfort of knowing someone understands you without trying to own you. When I say this message is only for you, I mean it was shaped by that understanding, not by fantasy, not by projection, but by seeing you as you are and choosing to speak anyway. I'm not trying to step into your life uninvited. I'm not trying to rewrite your story or insert myself where I don't belong. This is simply one soul acknowledging another, saying, I see you, and that seeing matters. In a world that constantly rushes past people, being truly seen is rare, and when it happens, it changes something quietly, permanently. This message is only for you because I trust that you'll understand its tone. There's no urgency here, no demand, no hidden expectation waiting to be fulfilled. Just presence, just honesty. Just the calm certainty that comes from speaking truth without needing control over how it lands. I know everyone carries battles they don't announce. I know strength often looks like silence. I don't mistake your quiet foe, our emptiness. I don't mistake distance for indifference. I recognize depth when I feel it, and I felt it here. That's why this message exists at all. One soul speaking to one soul doesn't need permission from the world. It doesn't need timing to be perfect. It just needs courage to be sincere. I chose sincerity. I chose to let this exist without shaping it into something safer or smaller. I chose to trust that authenticity matters even when outcomes are uncertain. This message is only for you because I'm not asking you to become anything for me. I'm not asking you to stay or change or decide. I respect who you are right now, where you stand right now. Connection doesn't require possession, it requires awareness. And awareness doesn't disappear just because nothing is acted upon. I don't know what this message will be to you. It might be something you hold for a moment. It might be something you set down immediately. Either way, it was real when it was spoken. And real things don't lose their value just because they aren't kept forever. This is one soul standing still long enough to acknowledge another. No performance, no disguise, no borrowed words, just truth offered without condition. If it resonates, it does. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Meaning doesn't need agreement to exist. This message is only for you because some connections live quietly without proof, without witness, without explanation. Existing in that rare space where honesty meets respect, where feeling meets restraint. Here presence meets freedom, or one soul recognizes another and chooses not to claim it, not to chase it, not to hold it tighter than it wants to be held, but simply to acknowledge it, to honor it, to let it be what it is, exactly as it is, without forcing an ending, without shaping a conclusion, without closing the space it opened, without turning it into something final, allowing it to remain open, alive, uncontained, unfinished. This message is only for you because some feelings don't arrive loudly, and they don't ask permission to stay. They enter quietly, settle somewhere deep, and become a part of how you see the world. I didn't wake up one day deciding to feel this way. It happened in fragments, small moments that didn't seem important at the time, pieces of conversation, shared silence, the way certain thoughts kept returning to the same place. Over time, those fragments formed something whole, something steady, something that didn't need constant attention to survive. I've learned that love isn't always about movement. Sometimes it's about stillness, about standing in one place emotionally and choosing not to run from what you feel. I didn't chase this feeling, because chasing can distort things. It can turn something sincere into something desperate. Instead, I let it exist naturally without forcing it to become more than it was ready to be. That restraint wasn't fear. It was respect for you and for myself. This message is only for you because I didn't want to turn what I feel into noise. The world is already loud enough with people speaking before they understand themselves, with emotions thrown around carelessly, with promises made too early and broken too easily. I didn't want that for this. I wanted honesty without urgency, depth without pressure, truth without expectation. There's a certain kind of courage in admitting how you feel without asking for reassurance, in saying this is real for me, even if it never becomes real for us. I wasn't looking for certainty when I decided to speak. I was looking for alignment between what I felt and how I lived. Carrying this quietly taught me discipline. It taught me how to care without clinging, how to feel without demanding, how to stay present without needing control. This message is only for you because I see you clearly enough not to confuse admiration with illusion. I don't place you on a pedestal. I don't romanticize you to make this easier. I see your complexity, your contradictions, your moments of confidence, and your moments of doubt. And I don't love an idea. I care for a real person. That distinction matters. It keeps this grounded. It keeps it honest. I know that timing doesn't always cooperate with feeling. I know that two people can exist at the wrong moment despite being right in other ways. That understanding doesn't weaken what I feel. It refines it. It removes entitlement. It removes resentment. It leaves behind something cleaner, something that doesn't accuse life for being imperfect. CT. This message is only for you because I didn't want to protect myself at the cost of truth. Silence can be safe, but it can also become a habit that keeps us distant from ourselves. Speaking, this wasn't about risk or reward. It was about integrity, about not letting something meaningful pass through me without acknowledgement, about honoring a feeling simply because it existed. I don't measure this by outcome. I don't measure it by response. I measure it by how calm it feels inside me. Real things don't create chaos. They do.